Hello and welcome to episode 15 of our Final Fantasy Endwalker playthrough. We are still paying our respects to the two Garlean women, who we were unable to save. Or more accurately, who did not wish to be saved. If only we had had the chance to talk things over, but it's too late now. Too late by far. Alphino's resolve may be shaken, but he has not forgotten his duty. We have already caused enough harm here. Let's return to the camp before we cause any more. As for those inside the house, we should send someone to take care of them. Someone who isn't us. All we can do for now is make our report to Lucia, and do everything in our power to prevent further tragedies. So let us linger here no more. Come. I have, in the time that I was getting lunch, got my mount speed boost. I mean, now nice and nippy, but it's quicker just to teleport back. Oh, long chat window, but it does not like there was anything in there that I needed to hide. We're all well. Would you mind giving Lucia the full report? We mustn't forget to send some of our allies to Tablet's Den. We still owe them for the bottle of ceruleum. Treatment of the tempered is proceeding as well as can be expected. If there's anything to report, you will be sure to know. Though I gather you have a report. I gather you have a report of your own to deliver. Is something the matter? The twins look out of sorts, and you too seem a bit off. Forgive me for saying, but the three of you appear rather drained since your return. Is there aught I might do to be of assistance? Alize and Alphino tell me that they have finished their preliminary search for survivors, but refrain from saying much more than that. Clearly they are reluctant to provide details. May I ask for your account?
Thank you for your report. We shall inform the troops of these developments and instruct them to proceed with the utmost caution should they encounter any survivors.
Allow me to go and speak with the ones at the victor's spoils. They may be more willing to listen to a fellow Garlean and accept our offer of assistance.
I pray you are right. And though I am loath to burden you any further, should there be an appropriate occasion to speak of Licinia and her sister, please do so.
I am sorry to have put you through this.
My distress is nothing compared to their suffering. So tell me, what else have we learned?
As you may have already heard, we have succeeded in curing the members of the Popularis, Maxima identified. They have provided us with some intriguing insights into the current state of Garlemald. The assassination of Emperor Varus was the catalyst for the civil war. Nerva declared his claim to the throne, and his opponents refused to recognize it. Fighting broke out in the capital, where Nerva's 3rd Legion clashed with the 1st, who remained loyal to Varus even after his death.
Of course, even Imperial warmongers would balk at the idea of turning their shining city into a battleground. Like burning down the wood to spite the wasps. Neither side would be so mad. Unless something or someone inflamed their animosity to such an extent that they could not help but act against their better judgment.
It brings to mind events at the Gimlet Dark, does it not? The Emperor's sudden withdrawal from the front lines, specifically. Nerva and his father, Titus, Varus's then political rival, took advantage of rumors that Crown Prince Xenos had been possessed by a demon.
Elidibus, what better way to disparage your enemies than with the truth, or a close enough approximation?
Indeed. But before their accusations could be substantiated, many of Titus's followers were silenced. While some were merely stripped of their status, others died under curious circumstances. One after another, suddenly and suspiciously.
Again, Elidibus. Like as not, he had a hand in it. No evidence was found to implicate Varus, certainly. Nevertheless, Titus, Nerva, and the Third Legion would have judged it a brazen attempt by the Emperor to rid himself of his political enemies. And then, in the midst of this growing turmoil, Varus Sosgalvus is murdered. And Garlemald's own prodigal son, Gaius van Belsar, is named the murderer. Shortly thereafter, Nerva claims the right of succession, and in response, the First Legion claims the assassination was part of a coup d'etat orchestrated by Titus and Nerva.
So no one is at fault, and everyone else is to blame.
I should add that both parties received substantial financial backing, presumably to provide them with the means and encouragement to pursue a swift victory, and that these contributions came from the self-same benefactor.
I'd heard House Brutus had been filling the Third Legion's coffers, but the First as well.
It would seem so. Though the Populares determined that the First Legion received funds from a variety of organizations, all had connections to House Brutus.
So Fandaniel, in the guise of Asahi, was playing both sides against each other the entire time.
The information we gained from my friends does not end there. One night, shortly after fighting broke out, the capital was shaken by an immense tremor. From that point onward, they have no memories, no recollection of any events, including our clash on the Magna Glaciers. But when asked about the Imperial Palace and its bizarre transformation, they somehow recall Emperor Varus giving them orders in their dreams. May the Tower of Babel stand as testament to the glory of Garlemald.
This sounds awfully familiar.
We have something to show you all.
Varus spoke to them through this radio. Perhaps it was a recording, but if not, that would be inexplicable.
We are of one mind, then.
The ether that permeates the ore used in this device is almost identical to that of the talismans.
I see it. While it is likely more by coincidence than design, these devices might also ward against a primal's influence. A picture is beginning to form. If the tremor felt throughout Garlemald was a wave of ether emitted by a primal, then while those within range would have been tempered, those huddled around a radio desperate for news concerning the Civil War would have been spared.
No wonder Licinia kept it close.
My friends, I must speak with you. A young man was caught trying to steal our supplies. He is a soldier of the Iron Men, we think, but one who has not been made thrall. Thankfully, Magni restrained him before blood was spilled. The stranger is outside, if you wish to ask him questions.
I think we do.
Who do we have here?
Garleans? Traitors to your homeland! Have you no shame?
I am Lucia Junius, a temple knight of Ishgard. And you are?
Jullus Pier Norbanus. And that's all you invaders will get from me.
We are not here to invade Garlemald. Far from it. Like you, our allies in Eorzea and the Far East fight in defense of their lives and their loved ones even as we speak. But it is the people of Garlemald who have suffered most. This we know. And that is why we have come to offer you our aid, that we may unite against our common foe. Whether you believe me or not, those are the facts. Now, answer me this. Why would a proud soldier of the Empire be reduced to stealing? The situation must be dire indeed for you to go to such lengths. If it is supplies you seek, we would gladly share ours, or turn a blind eye while you leave with your spoils.
I will not negotiate. My commander will determine how to deal with you and yours. If you wish to treat with him, I will take you, but no more than 3.
I don't much like the sound of that. But if we do accept his proposal, I suggest the 2 of us and...
Please allow me and Alize to act as envoys.
May I ask why?
We have seen with our own eyes the hardships the Garleans face. How their futures and lives hang in the balance.
It's not the warmest invitation, but it's an opportunity to prove our intentions true. Maybe not a chance to make things right, but a chance to make them better.
What would Mother say if I let you go or you two go by yourself? I'm going with you. We already established that I was probably going to go. I'm the strongest person here. If it's a trap, I have the best chance of getting out alive. We'll go with the bottom one, because she has actors to protect them.
I can see that persuading you otherwise is a lost cause, but you will proceed with the utmost care.
A couple of children and what? A sellsword? Is this an insult?
Not in the least. You will find that they are more than qualified to speak on our behalf.
There are many dangers on the road ahead. I will need that back.
Okay. Good lord, so many people to speak to again. I worry that they are not in the best state of mind to volunteer for this undertaking. But what is done is done. I know you'll take good care of them and yourself while at it. Yourself as well, I trust. They are resilient in the face of hardship. You as well. But good intentions and stubborn determinations alone will not be enough to bring our mission to a successful conclusion. Be on your guard. Julius Per Nubla. I literally just heard that name and I was paying no attention to now. Julius is unusual for one so young to achieve such a high rank. Very unusual. His uniform identifies him as a member of the First Legion, which has a particularly fierce reputation. Whosoever his superior may be, I advise you approach them with caution. We captured the boy as he was about to make off with our food. He must be very hungry to take such a risk. Maybe we should give him something to eat, reward him for his boldness. Perhaps it's unwise to volunteer for missions so soon after the previous disaster. Nevertheless, I shall not squander this opportunity. And I appreciate you liking me, but can you not be standing in place of people I want to talk to? I can't not highlight you. I know, this won't bring back Licinia, or her sister. Taking the same risk, making the same mistakes. It's possible, but better to try than to give up every time. The lowly task of keeping watch over the provisions would not be left, or would not normally be fit of the sun. But these being unusual circumstances, I will let no man take that which is not by rights theirs. Said your farewells, have you? Yep. Please don't mind my chocobo. She really is quite fond of me. You will be received as an invited guest, so I urge you observe proper social etiquette and conduct yourself accordingly. Your safe return takes precedence over all else, remember this. Thancred in particular will be worried sick if you're gone too long. May the Fury watch over and keep you. Shall we go? Are you and the children ready? I will explain the route once we are outside your camp. If anyone attempts to follow us, we will judge it an act of hostility. We will not hesitate to take appropriate measures. I'd expect nothing less. You have our full cooperation. Any blue quest popped up yet? Nope. Where do you think their headquarters are? I assume there are a few others beside him and his comrades he mentioned. We will do well. We will do only as instructed. After all, this is what we've been striving for ever since we arrived. Alright, this is far enough. Listen carefully. We'll head over that hill, then follow the road until we reach Limnus Station 4. Children in the lead, I want you where I can see you. We do have names, you know. I'm Alize, he's Alphino. And last but not least, there's Nathan. Nathan, where have I heard that name before? No matter. Alphino and Alize will watch the road ahead while we bring up the rear. I wasn't lying about there being many dangers, so you're to run, not saunter. Run towards the station. If you even think about going for your weapon, the deal is off. Should any creatures bar the way, we'll go around them. Once you choose to depart, he will accompany you. Okay, so basically we're going to be legging it after them. Make ready to dash for the station. Okay, he's following me. There's an enemy there. It's not an easy surface to run on. I really should have been reading these. My apologies. We'd better not draw attention. That's the station, I presume. I have already actually come here. I grabbed an ether current while I was doing my 6 fates. I think all of the main ether currents are to the north. Yep. Presumably in Garlemald proper. This is it, the first stop, that is. Good. Looks like your friends know better than to follow us. Are these your headquarters? No, we're stopping here so I can check for pursuers. Since it appears you kept your side of the bargain, we can carry on. I wonder what sort of condition Julius and his comrades are living in. If they've any sense, they'd have picked somewhere like Victor's spoils to take shelter. We're getting closer to the Imperial Palace, if one can stand or can still call it that. It truly is a terrifying sight to behold. North of the station is Regus Dormrun, or Domerun. One of the main residential areas, or at least it was. The afflicted roam the streets in packs. They'll tear us to shreds if given the chance. Keep close now, no wandering off. Understood? Julius knows only too well the dangers that lurk around every corner. From here, we'll be heading northeast, keeping to the left of the railway. While the route itself is straightforward, getting past the hordes unseen is anything but. Keep your weapons at the ready. They would attack their own countrymen? Aye, they'll spare their own but slaughter the rest without hesitation. Though we try to avoid detection, the chance of sneaking by completely unnoticed are slim at best. I will lead the way, but in the event we are seen, you're to fight them off. Those two will follow us, provided they can refrain from drawing their weapons. While I doubt they would be foolish enough to stab their guide in the back, I will not take that chance. With that said, let us proceed. God damn it, we're perfectly capable of holding our own. She wanted to fight. We must stay alert. I see why your comrades chose you. Julius, our contingency has a cure for the afflicted, or tempered, as we call them. Your people would need to be taken into custody that we may administer the treatment, but they would eventually regain their sanity. Is that so? For all I know, your treatment would simply force them to forsake forsake one master for another. As far as I and my legion are concerned, they are no longer our people. They're beyond saving. Those who thought differently and tried to reason with them were butchered for their bleeding hearts. Come, we have to keep moving. Oh, let's top that off. And continue on. They actually managed to stun me. I hate to watch you bear the burden alone. Looks like we're not being followed. We'll continue onward. Oh, they actually dealt with him this time. The surest way to limit casualties is to reach our destination without drawing attention to ourselves. Perhaps afterwards we can try again to convince Julius that the Tempered can be saved. He truly believes there's nothing that can be done for them. No wonder he isn't afraid to get his hands dirty. I meant what I said. These people deserve only death. I stayed my hand before only out of a desire to remain undiscovered, and that is still the highest priority. We shall continue to avoid any unnecessary confrontations. Keep following the railway. We haven't actually been up here yet. Is this inside the cave or around the back of it? What the hell are those? Those Tempered are most definitely beyond saving. To think they were once ordinary people. Such a transformation is likely irreversible. Look at what they've become. Would you still stand there and claim that they can be cured? Those exposed to advanced quantity of primal ether may suffer severe corruption. Even with treatment, such victims are beyond salvation. Then you admit it. Now that you have seen these monstrosities for yourself, perhaps you will think twice before speaking of a cure. But it's a scale. Oh, I know where that Aphrodite is. I've remembered something from the Watchman thingy. The live letters. There is an underground railway that goes into the, well, what used to be the palace. Now that we're nice up and close and can get a better view of it. Though I wish there was another way, I thank you for keeping us from harm. Even here in the outskirts, it's plain to see how vastly different Garlemald is compared to other cities. We're almost there. You'll have to keep you have to keep your side of the agreement, so I will keep mine this way. This is Titium, one of Garlemald's largest stations. It now serves as our headquarters. I've already sent the twins ahead. I will be with you soon, so wait for me at the bottom of the stairs. These aren't stairs. Who are you? She clearly has no intention of speaking with you. They have no idea, or I had no idea they had such an expansive structure built underground. It's plain to see why they chose this as their base of operations. They could have done a lot worse. Even so, I imagine it's not the easiest place to live. Indeed, if Julius was willing to make the perilous journey to Camp Broken Glass in search of food, their own supplies must be all but exhausted. They may be sheltered from the wind and snow, but it's still bitterly cold. Much like Victor's spoils, it must be a constant struggle to keep their people warm. Lower your voices. While you may be here as my guests, the others will not take kindly to your presence. My commander is in the locomotive over there. Not working. Ooh. Free experience. He certainly looks the part. Now comes the true test.
These are their chosen representatives.
Very well. Let us hear what they have to say.
Yes, sir. I present to you our commander, Lord Quintus Vankina, Legatus of the First Legion.
The first? I had no idea you had survived.
We lost our emperor, our city, more than half our troops. For my wounds, I may never take the field again. But we survived, aye. In a manner much to your liking, I dare say.
We have no intention of adding to your misfortunes, nor do we bear you any ill will.
Spare me. Though you children may speak in earnest, overtures of peace ever ring hollow in my ears. So long as man stands to profit from his neighbor's suffering, war is inevitable. Driven from our ancestral homeland into this blasted waste. Yet still you yearned to rob us of our paltry scraps. 'Twas only with Magitech that you learned to keep your distance. Though we knew it was only a matter of time before you regrouped and returned. Conquest and empire were our only defenses. Emperors Solus and Varus understood this, and through their campaigns saw us grow and prosper. Much blood has been spilled in Garlemald's name, aye. But if it is a choice between yours and mine, then it is hardly a choice at all.
I do not deny that a great many conflicts throughout history were driven by the desire or necessity to gain by another's loss. That is not why we are here. Nor have we come to petition your aid in the war with the Telophoroi, grave though that threat may be. Our purpose is simply this. We wish to help you. Let us help you. If there is aught that can be done to ease your plight, we would be glad to do it.
Perhaps you would. But regardless of the ideals you espouse, your leaders would not send an army into Garlemald if they did not stand to benefit. If we accept their aid, they will expect their efforts to be rewarded once the Telophoroi are no longer a threat. And after compensation and concessions, the great empire would be brought to heel. Her enemies rejoice at her downfall. Our third eye, a mark of shame.
We won't stand idly by and let your people be humiliated. And we're not alone in that. We only want to make a difference, to make this world of ours better. Surely you can understand that. What I'm trying to say is, there are so many people who just don't care about making you suffer. And maybe that's almost insulting after all the suffering you feel the world has subjected your people to, but believe it or not, that's the truth. And now we're here, and all we're asking is for you to tell us what you want, what you hope for.
So much blood has been shed, so much lost. All because of this endless war. Who wouldn't want to end it? Can we not work together to face our problems as one?
Answer me this, young peacemakers. If a world without conflict is your desire, why reject the unity and prosperity of Garlemald? Is it because we do not share your faith? That we do not share your heritage? That our ideals and virtues differ? That we cherish and hold in the highest that which you do not? Disparity is the root of discord, and peace built on compromise is flawed and fleeting. Happiness for one and all is a dream, and the reality is that to the victor go the spoils. That is why we Garleans will never submit nor surrender. For freedom and for pride, we will remain true to ourselves until the bitter end. That is my hope. It seems there is nothing more to say on the matter. You will remain here while I decide what is to be done with you. Do not be alarmed. No harm will come to you if you cooperate.
We will not resist. However, as your guests, I ask that we be allowed to speak with the other members of your group.
As you wish. I had no intention of locking you up. As by dawn you would be frozen stiff and you're no good to me dead. You are free to move about the encampment. But there is one condition. Collar them.
What are these?
Bombs.
Incentive. You'll be watched at all times. Stray too far or act suspiciously, and we will administer a rather painful shock. Stop. Keep away from that one.
He'll break you in half.
The champion of Eorzea is not so easily cowed. Even if he allowed himself to be collared, the shock would be no more than an itch. No. If he refuses to obey, we will activate the twins' restraints instead.
You needn't worry about us.
We'll forget we're even wearing them soon enough.
Even now, you still... Why go to such lengths? What is it all for?
Because even the most bitter adversary may one day see reason. On the coldest, blackest of nights, the meager though it may be, we must share the warmth of our fire. They're both good answers to that. But I think the bottom one is more apt to the situation. Am I quoting him directly?
You are a curious one. A far cry from the merciless barbarian others paint you to be. You will be their warden. Take them away.
Yes, sir.
I get a feeling this next quest is not going to take that long, so we will continue on. Might push us a little over an hour, but I think we'll be okay. I have to remind myself not to touch it, even if it starts to itch. I'd rather not set it off by accident. Anyway, enough about that. Let's learn what we can from the refugees. It will take more than a trifle such as this to deter us. Compared to what Garlemald's people have suffered in recent days, these collars are a minor inconvenience. Julius has his orders, unpleasant though they may be. As per Lord Quintar's instructions, I am to supervise you during your time here in Tyrium. Before you ask, no, I do not have the key or by any other means to remove your collars. Nor would I tell you if I did. If you're going to try anything, you'd sooner wish you hadn't. So, do you truly intend to speak with the others, or was that merely a ruse? We're in no hurry to disobey Lord Quintus, if that's what you mean. Or perhaps you doubt the wisdom of his decision. Do as you will, but remember, I'll be watching. If I catch wind of you doing anything untowards, trying to trick our people into turning their coats and the like, these shock collars will be the last of your worries. Understood? Though we're somewhat compromised, to put it lightly, let's not waste this opportunity. I suggest splitting up and learning what we can of their situation. And above all else, don't use magics of any sort. Does that mean I can't shakuchi? You, on the other hand, may go wheresoever you wish, even outside the camp. I know full well I couldn't stop you if I tried. But do not forget, if you do anything to endanger us or our interests, Alphino and Alize will pay the price. I assume... yeah, still no. You came with Julius, didn't you? Well, whatever business brought you here, you'd best keep your hands off that aetherite. It's deactivated, but I'd rather you didn't mess about with it. There are others throughout the city, built by Garlands, built by Garleans for Garleans. Could teleport all over in the blink of an eye, provided there was a terminal nearby. These days, however, we use the aetherite's power to keep this place lit, though that comes at the cost of its normal function. Let's turn this thing off. It's the same radio model as the one used at Victor's spoils. Actually, no, we want to keep it on, don't we? Perhaps it was what saved the soldiers from being tempered. I know who you are, the so-called champion of Eorzea. Come to gloat, have you? I'll wipe that smirk off your face. The blood of our fallen compatriots. I swear I'll... Damn the Tor... damn Tor the... I'm guessing that's a muscle of some description? Satyrs? Of all the time, the worst of the lot within striking distance, and I can't even muster the strength. If it weren't for the third bleeding us, would be the end of you. Vigilion's treachery nearly cost Lord Quintus his life, but we made our escape, took shelter in the mansion, tended to the wounded as we prepared to strike back, and then night fell and we gathered around the radio. Then the roar, the terrible roar. The city was in chaos, but we were spared. If you can call this a mercy, mind intact, but body broken, a soldier in name alone, I'd cut you down where you stand if I could, murderer. So cold. This young soldier is on the verge of losing consciousness. It's you, Nathan Skidmore. I serve under Lord Gaius of the 14th Legion. I was there on the night the Praetorium fell. You and your adventurers, you killed them, my comrades, my friends, swept them aside in their dozens, as though they were nothing to you. And maybe I am too, just another faceless enemy to be cut down. But it won't be long until our countrymen return, until you get what you deserve, mark my words. Did you learn anything of note? And then your findings are consistent with my own. Their plight is desperate indeed. The sick and injured are at greatest risk. Without warmth and proper nutrients, I fear they will soon perish. I realize there is precious little we can do for them at present, but I cannot bear to see them suffer. Please, will you help me tend to them? So cold, and probably hasn't had a proper meal in days. If only we brought some food with us. But perhaps I could use a little magic... No, I mustn't. Gods, this is so frustrating. Who's there? My eyes, I can't see all that well. Ah, thank you. The numbness has subsided a little. I know, I won't last much longer. You should look to the others who can still fight. Give them my rations. If me going hungry means someone else lives to see another day, so be it. At least I can still serve in that way. For those you met, so those you met fare no better. I was afraid you would say that. I know we were warned against meddling in their affairs, but we can't leave them like this. Perhaps we might gain permission to have a contingent deliver supplies? Quintus may have made his feelings on the matter quite clear, but even he must recognize they're not in a position to refuse help. Maybe Julius could persuade him, though we'd need to persuade Julius first. Well, seen enough? Julius, the people here barely have enough food and fuel to survive. Have you and the other soldiers been able to procure any more supplies? We've been scavenging provisions from nearby houses, as most of the families keep rather. Some stored away in the event that they were snowed in. Still, I read that the opposite way around, so it should have been kept, then keep. Did I go the wrong way? Anyway, still, going out and getting it is dangerous work. We've a lot of mouths to feed. Fuel is of greatest concern, though. We had some civilian set aside until it was stolen. We haven't identified the culprit. Could have been other refugees or one of the afflicted, for all we know. Either way, we're down to our last dregs. Without the heating, without the heating they need, those in poor health are going to get worse instead of better. If it's civilian you need, our contingency has secured a ready supply. We can have some sent over. We will not accept your charity. If we can hold on a little longer, the situation is sure to change. Aye, everything will change. One of your comrades mentioned something along those lines. Those mysterious countrymen of yours, I assume. Heard something of it, have you? Well, from what I've seen, there's little you could do to interfere. There's no harm in telling you. One of our scouts reported a hooded man issuing instructions to the inflicted, or in the bastard's words, loyal servants of the Telophoroi. Then he made his way inside the Imperial Palace, or what stands in its place. We identified the seat of the enemy's power, we realised. Lord Quintus dispatched a message to the 5th Legion saying as much, instructing them to join forces with the provincial legions to prepare for a combined assault on the Telophoroi. Once our allies arrive, your contingent will be sent running for the hills. Then we shall reclaim the capital by our own hands. And how do you intend to survive in the meantime? At this rate, many of your countrymen will perish long before reinforcements reach Garlemald. If they need help, or they need help now, say the word and we'll bring the civilian. I will speak with Lord Quintus. So, did he agree to it? No, he will not place Garlemald in the debt of our enemies. I have, however, been ordered to search for civilian outside. As you are under my watch, you will come with me. Very well. After all, many hands make light work. You lot are more trouble than you're worth. Once we're outside, you will follow my instructions to the letter. We depart shortly. All right. We shall leave things there for now, with our chocobo looming over our shoulder. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show. I will continue playing this after I've got myself another cup of tea. So I will hopefully see you next time. Cheerio.